Yo, that girl is at the beach, okay, and I'm relaxing myself. The internet is so unforgiving. Like, they don't want you to learn and grow and evolve. It's almost as if they want you to stay stuck with them. It's almost as if they want you to be the same person that you have always been, or at least how you've always shown up on the internet. But by the same token, if you just stay the same person that they met first and don't evolve and don't grow and don't outthink certain theories that, maybe you believed in at one point, or things that you thought about at one point, then they'll say, oh, you're stuck in the past, or, you're stubborn, you're not really trying to grow as a person. Then they'll crucify you for that too. So I came here today to have a grown woman conversation with all my grown women and my grown men, and basically say that, you know what, I might have been wrong. I'm talking about my idea of the 9 to 5, and my sentiments about the 9 to 5 has not changed completely. But I will say that I do see more value in the 9 to 5 than I did previously a few months ago. And I wanted to get on YouTube and talk about it because, I was definitely one of those people that was saying, like, oh, quit your job, forget the 9 to 5, leave the 9 to 5, it's a trap. And while these things are still very true to me, at least, over the past, let's say 6 months, I've had a little bit of a different tune. Nothing too crazy, but a little bit of a different tune to where I can honestly say, like, you know what, I may have a new perspective, and that's good for me, and I wanted to share it with y'all. So don't be shy, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into the video. As y'all can see, I'm at the beach. It's my birthday weekend. I'm big kicking it. I got my feet in the sand, and I'm really just doing some grounding and some thinking. I say all that because first 6 months of this year, it felt like I've lived 4 different lives since the beginning of this year, and it's only July. And I feel like I've done a lot of growing and a lot of changing, and I'm sitting back and I'm looking at the water, and I'm like, yeah, you actually have. A few months ago, you actually felt really strongly about this topic, but now, things have changed a little bit. So coming from someone who is not a stranger to hard work, I have been working all my life. Like, I have been working since before it was legal for me to even have a job. And I know in certain states, you can be like 15 with a permit. I definitely had to wait till I was 16 to get like an actual job. And that was cool. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mind that, but I was doing things to get money before that, even as a kid. Like, you can pretty much ask anybody at this point. I'm not gonna lie. I just always had a thing for, like, getting money. That's not for me to sound boastful, but I'm being honest. I would sell candy at school. I would do like my siblings' chores for them if they didn't have time to do it or didn't want to do it before our mama got home. I would go over to my friend's house, and some of her cousins would pay us to clean their shoes with a toothbrush or something, or like iron their clothes, or, you know what I'm saying, when they was getting ready to go out and step out on the town, they would pay us to do that. It would be little money, like, $5 here, a little something, but it was enough for me to have some sort of money in my pocket as a kid. So, like, I've just always been kind of used to figuring out some sort of way, or just looking and recognizing the ways that I can get money in the position that I'm in. When I turned 16, I was still in high school. I was cheering. You know what I'm saying? I had a job. So, like, I couldn't work as much anyway. I had a job, though. And then once I turned 18, I got 2 jobs. I turned 18, then I got 2 jobs. And then I went and started a whole different career. And then with me starting that whole different career, I did that for about 6 years, and then I got done with that and hopped right back into having 2 jobs again, because now we got to get this money somewhere. So you're not talking to someone who is a stranger to the structure of a 9 to 5. So how has my opinion changed? I just kind of gave you a brief rundown of, like, my work history. I've never been afraid to go get a job. I think once I was working at Sephora, things in my life started changing, and I just realized like I have to start doing things that make me happy on a daily basis. I loved Sephora. I loved being there in Sephora and working with like the products that we work with and just the makeup and the beauty and all of those things. I loved it, right? But I realized I was getting sick of working, and part of it might have been because I may have been burning myself out, just being at work all the time. And you know, I would say I'm available part-time, but if anyone wanted to drop a shift or switch with me or just didn't want to work their shift, I would pick it up. So eventually it was like I was there full-time, but the money was up though, and you know that's what I like. So let's just say it was a little bit of burnout, but also just me realizing like I have to start doing what I like again. I'm burnt out from just doing things because the bills need to be paid, and although that is a very valid reason, it wasn't enough no more. It wasn't enough to keep me somewhere anymore. So I started having those feelings while I was working at Sephora. I was working at Sephora in 2023. I ended up quitting. Once I left my job and I quit Sephora, I felt a different type of like just way about myself. I felt lighter. My shoulders felt lighter. My attitude was lighter. I was just the person I don't want to say I always felt like I needed to be, but I guess so, because when I think about it, I've always had like an entrepreneurial spirit. Always. Like I didn't know what I wanted to be when I was younger, but I knew I wanted to make money, and I knew I would rather be in charge of me making money if there was any kind of setup. And of course, when I'm young, I'm not knowing that it's called being an entrepreneur. I just know I want to make good money so I can make a good and great living for myself and my family. Right? So once I quit my job, everything felt lighter. Like it felt like I was living again, and I was like, okay, I'm not supposed to have a job anymore. And that was the coattail I was riding, and that's what I came on the internet preaching, because it was just true for me. Because I felt like the 9 to 5, for one, I'm not a person, I don't want to ask you, can I have time off? I don't want to do that. That's my biggest thing. I used to work and be in a career where I had to literally have like proof and everything about what I'm doing, and you know how to get it. Of course, like other jobs, you got to get it approved and all that. I don't want to do that anymore. I like having my own say so over my time. Like, I'm sorry. I have to have the say so. Like right now I'm at the beach. If I want to stay longer, then that's what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually make a video about my Sephora exit plan, so y'all stay tuned and get ready for that to come up. I was preaching all of those things. Like it's a creative trap. If you're a creative person, you don't need a 9 to 5. I still stand by that. If you are an entrepreneur, there's a very high chance that for you to get off the ground with whatever you're doing, it takes money to earn money. So you have to have the money to either start the business or have the money so that you can not be at work all the time. Where I want to clear up and just go into a little bit more detail about what I meant was that you don't need a 9 to 5 for a long period of time. You need to work and treat the 9 to 5 like this is funding the business until the business can fund me and it starts running on its own. That's how you need to look at the 9 to 5. I like real world examples, right? So let's do a real world example. The dope boys and street guys, they use that money to flip into other things. Like a lot of artists today never really wanted to become rappers for real, but they use the street money to help fund the rap career or the music career or whatever other business endeavors that they have. That helps them until the rap money starts to come in enough, and now they are living mostly off of the rap money. Same thing for Same thing for my midnight ballerinas. Y'all are using that money to fund the lash business, to fund the hair business, to fund the music career, to fund whatever, until whatever you are pouring into gets to pour back into you. And you need to look at the 9 to 5 like that. Like, yes, I cannot stand being here. I cannot stand being here. However, I got a goal to meet. And either the quicker I make that goal, then I can quit, or I just have to grind it and tough it out until the goal is met and I still have a little bit of peace, a little bit of sanity. I'm not overworking myself just to make one goal. Depending on how big your goals are, you may have really big goals. The bigger the goal, sometimes the more time that it's going to take for you to get there. So it is what it is. But I came back on here to say, like, I have a deeper appreciation for the 9 to 5. Whereas before, it was just kind of like quit because I'm sick of this and I'm tired. When I quit Sephora, I didn't just up and quit on a random Tuesday. I planned it out. I made sure that I saved up more than enough so that my finances and everything could be cool, because I didn't know if I was just going to be taking a break from the 9 to 5 when I quit Sephora, or if I was ever going to come back to the 9 to 5 structure. That's how tired and burnt out I was. But that's me though. You know what I'm saying? That's me though. I say all that to say, a lot of content creators are going to get on here and talk shit about the 9 to 5. And, you know, in their world, it may be true. What they're saying may be true. It may be factual. And maybe you can even apply it to your world and it still works, right? But as a more general message, use that 9 to 5 to create whatever you working on. And then if you still feel like, hey, I need to get up out of here, this is running me dry, then get up out of there. Like I was saying, I'm never telling y'all to just up and quit your job unless you feel like this is becoming a mental health issue. This is becoming a safety issue. This is going to become bigger than what this needs to be if I don't leave this job right now. Even with that, I know everybody's situation is different, so I'm still going to tell you to be strategic. You know, some people have kids. Some people live in like homes and situations where they have to take care of like elderly people, or they're just caretakers, period. So with everyone's situation being different, I can't tell you every little thing to do. You got to be smart. You got to be strategic. You have to really think about what's going on for you and your plans. And not just because me or any other content creator hopped on YouTube one day and decided to talk about 9 to 5s. What I am saying is my opinion of the 9 to 5 has changed slightly. And all you need to do is use the 9 to 5 just to get you to the stepping stone. And I know other content creators have said literally that. They have other videos about that as well. But I think for me, it's a little different because I recently just experienced it. Like, I'm living it right now. Also, fun fact, I didn't really even tell the internet this. I was going back and forth about telling the internet this because I wanted to see how it was going to work out for me first. Okay, I wanted to see what it was going to be like first. But the girl has a job again. I know. Probably more than likely what brought on this new perspective for me. We got a 9 to 5 again. We as in me. I told y'all I'm on a money making mission this year. I'm not playing. And part of having and making money is learning how to keep and manage the money, also flip the money and everything like that. We just getting the business straight. You know what I'm saying? We just getting the business straight with my personal finances and getting back in that mode like I've been saying for the past couple videos. So if you appreciated the video, if you enjoyed it, if it helped you, don't be shy. Subscribe. I'm about to enjoy the rest of this view on my birthday weekend. I'm grateful to be here. Grateful to be dropping more videos. Yes, my exit strategy on how I got out of the 9 to 5. I don't want to say trap anymore, but how I got out of the 9 to 5 work structure when I was working at Sephora. Stay on the lookout because that video is dropping soon. Okay, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.